Good morning, and we are live. Man, I'm excited to be here with you. We did just a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Donald Lame Duck Donny is done. He is done. Uh, we'll talk a little bit about that and what does it mean? I mean, what does it mean going forward? What are we looking at as far as problems? What are we looking at as far as the shifts in power? Let's just dig into it. All right, got Boston in the house. Glad to see you, man. I'm telling you, folks, if you ever get a chance to, you've got to travel throughout the United States. You just do. They are amazing. And Boston is incredible. It's expensive, but it is incredible. It is incredible. I mean, it is an amazing place. You've got to go. You've got to check it out. I mean, there are just wonderful places all over the country. Don't listen to these Republicans and the shit they talk about our country. It's just not true. It's just not true. American cities are incredible places filled with incredible people. But let's dig right into it. Last week, it was just a bad week. It just highlighted just how far gone lame Duck Donny is. I mean, literally him stroking Zoran Mamdani, literally stroking the man. And his base is just absolutely falling apart and foaming at the mouth about it. We talked about this a little bit in the last, but I just wanted to call your attention to this. This is a blow up of his hand from that picture. You folks, we've got a lot of professionals that that are in our audience, despite what the federal government says about healthcare professionals not being professionals anymore, which is bullshit. But we have a lot of professionals in our audience. We really do. Take a look at that hand. Look at that scarring running right down the middle of his hand, the discoloration, how bloated it is. I mean, it's gross. That man is dying. I mean, he is dying right in front of our eyes. He is just, there's nothing left. The 2025 project is dead. Trump has lost his mojo control over the Republican Party. It's just done. It's done. So what now? I mean, what now? What are we looking at? Well, Trump is going to flail. Dying animals are dangerous. They are. And there is just a lot of, you could tell. He's just getting, one IV after another through his hand. And it's just, which makes me wonder, somebody's going to have to explain this to me, why they're using the hand so much. He's being busted out for it. You think they'd, pick another vein or something. I don't know. Are all of his veins in his arm collapsed, or why the hand? There's got to be a reason for that. I mean, it's such a political problem for him. Is it dead veins? Is that the problem? I mean, I don't pretend to be a healthcare expert in any way, shape, or form. I go to other people that know what the hell they're talking about. But exactly why are they using the hand all the time, even though it is such a political problem for him, which means that they're absolutely forced to be doing it. So do we have some Kristi Noem breaking news here? Do we have some Kristi Noem breaking news? Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. I didn't see that when I was looking this morning. Let's see what we got here. I've got some stuff that I want to talk to you about, but if there's something happening, Oh yeah, yeah. They're laying the blame both legally and politically at her feet for uh, uh, the decision to buck the judge, to absolutely lie to the judge. And when the judge said, "Look, no more flights out, ground them," and then they sent the flights anyways. Yeah, the White House is 100% laid that at Christie. Oh, we didn't make that decision. Christie Nome did. Christie, I don't know. Wasn't us. Christie. Christie did that. So yeah, so they definitely have thrown her under the bus for that. They have definitely thrown her under the bus for that. But I want to introduce you to somebody. This is Yuri Ushakov. You know, the world keeps spinning. The fact that they're imbeciles and the fact that they're incompetent and the fact that, Donald Trump has pudding for brains and all of that doesn't mean the world quits spinning, my friend, my people. It just doesn't. Things keep happening. Beautiful Bibia, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. On my way to the RGV today. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. I hope that you folks have a great Thanksgiving. I went and did some shopping yesterday, and I made a point. You know, it's a mess when you've got to go shopping this time of year, and everybody dreads it. And me and Mrs. Texas Paul are no different, man. We saw those parking lots, and it was crazy inside and out. And I made the conscious decision. I'm going to find somebody in this store that makes me smile. The first thing I did when I walked in is I bumped into a woman that had a shirt about her resting bitch face, and it just made me laugh. It just made me laugh. I told her how much I loved her shirt. She lit up. And then from that point on, I was on a mission to make people smile. And I made over 20 people smile when I was shopping yesterday. I am bound and determined that we are going to enjoy this Thanksgiving. Poor Mrs. Texas Paul has caught what I'm getting over. So I don't know how much we're going to do on Thanksgiving because she's just really not feeling well. But we're going to make it happen. It's going to be a happy time, and I hope you have a happy time too. I really do. Mr. Will 73. Hey, Paul, here with you. Is glad to see you, my brother. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. But look, let's talk about Yuri Ushakov here for a second, so I can get rid of him. This is one sharp SOB. He really is. He was the American ambassador from Russia for a decade. I mean, he is really a sharp freaking guy. Know and respect your enemy. This guy is as sharp as it gets when it comes to, and he is Putin's top advisor. He is Putin's top, he's his right-hand man when it comes to foreign policy. Ushakov is it. And Steve Witkoff just got busted out for having a phone call with Ushakov where he was recorded. And of course, this was released by Russia. Nobody's saying who it was released by. Nobody knows, but it was Russia. It was Russia. I will tell you, I'll stick my neck out there on that one. It was Russia that released it. They do that on purpose. These idiots never learn. This is what Russia is going to do. You're going to suck up to these people like Steve Witkoff, Trump's right-hand man that's dealing with Russia and Ukraine, and basically all of his foreign policy decisions, thinks that he's got a relationship with these guys. And he doesn't. They burned him. They burned him. They released his phone call just to humiliate the Trump administration. And in that phone call, you have Steve Witkoff explaining to Yuri Ushakov, all right, you want to get your way? You want Trump to do exactly what you want? I want you to start the conversation when you get on the phone with him. And I want you to tell him, congratulate him on his Gaza peace deal, which, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention, what happened in Gaza is exactly what I said would happen in Gaza. The peace deal is over. It's done. It's gone. It was never going to last because Netanyahu cannot survive in a peaceful situation. Hamas can't survive in a peaceful situation. Forgive me, still fighting this Getting over it, but still fighting it. Mm-mm-mm. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Mine is just banging this morning. I don't know what we made in the second pot here, but whoo, it is stout. Sometimes you want your coffee. You don't want that flavor and you don't want the bitterness. And then sometimes you just need something to just, and that's what the second pot is, man. Whoo. But I'm telling you, every freaking time it's like Lucy and the football. These morons do not understand that Russia is not their friend. He's not. George Allen, a shout out to Hal Sparks, who just lost his dad. He put out one of the most beautiful videos I've ever seen. Thanks, Texas Paul. Yeah, God love Hal Sparks. When my dad died, it was like you ever seen in a Hollywood movie when a bomb goes off and they have that echoing and everything goes into slow motion and it's a little blurred, and that's what, if you haven't lost a parent, especially one that was, a huge part of your life, that's what Hal's going through right now. I mean, he's putting on a good show. He's really doing the best he can to hold it together, but that's what it feels like. And it feels that way for, it depends on the person, but it's usually weeks. It's like literally a bomb exploded right next to you is what it feels like. It's just, so yeah, send a lot of love Hal's way. He's really dealing with it like a like a as gracefully as I've ever seen it handled. Robin DeHood, can't stay the whole time. Have a third mini shift for my students. We'll be here for a bit though. Have a good holiday. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Robin. I'm glad you're here, and I'll try to get to the important point. I'll quit getting distracted. Oh, look, squirrel. See Charlie C. Hello from Peachland, British Columbia. My Canadian people in the house. Still got my Canadian chocolate up there. Geez, Texas Paul, it's been weeks. Get your ass to the doctor. We need you healthy. I was talking to Hector Garza about this. He had a shindig that I was really wanting to go to, and I called him and I apologized. I was like, Hector, I can't make it, man. It'd be irresponsible. I don't want to get a bunch of people sick. I can't go. And he's like, man, my wife had it, and she had it for 4 weeks. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. It feels like COVID, but I keep testing negative. He's just the same with my wife. 4 weeks she had it. So I'm thinking, I'm doing good since I'm on the mend, and I'm only like a week and a half in. New S Bill, Trump's ego will save us. He can't stand to have anyone smarter than him near him. He is an imbecile. Yes, he is. Look, this is what happened. Okay, let me sum this up. Let me finish this up. Steve Witkoff calls this guy, says, you're going to call Trump, and we want to push what you want in this Ukraine peace deal through. Let me show you how to do it. Let me tell you how to handle this guy. Just like Donny handled Trump. You had Trump just stroking the guy. Steve Witkoff made it completely clear to the entire world that he is not a neutral broker in this. He's not representing the United States of America. He says, Russia, let me tell you how to get what you want. And Russia gave us this bullshit 23, 28 point talking point plan that is nothing but a giveaway to Russia. And Steve Witkoff coached Ushakov on where Donald Trump was emotionally and how to handle it, how to get to stroke Donald Trump, to manipulate Donald Trump, to get him to fall into, and it worked. It worked perfectly. Perfectly. Donald Trump is now claiming that Ushakov's peace plan is his. It's his. It's all his. So his Ninang, I'm going to go with Ninang 363. Thank you for being here, and happy Thanksgiving to you. Loving to see all the new people. Take time to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button also. Let's get as many people in here as possible. But let me tell you, this is Don Bacon. This is Don Bacon. He is a Republican representative from Nebraska, and I don't get along with Don Bacon on anything. Nothing do we get along with. I'm a hyper-partisan Democrat, and he is what they try to sell as a middle-of-the-road Republican. But he's all on, 100% like the rest of the Republicans. He just, goose steps along with Trump. Well, he's got feelings now. Now that you folks have done your job, you have woken everybody up, and you've got people showing up, you've got people fighting it out, and we're winning these elections. All of a sudden, Don Bacon's got feels, man. He's got feels. He started to remember a few things. And one of them is that he doesn't trust or like Russia. Yeah, Don Bacon had a fit when this phone call became public, because it was so clear that Witkoff was just teaching a long-term, well-educated spy/ambassador how to handle Donald Trump. And that pissed Don Bacon off. And he's calling for Witkoff to be fired. And he's pissed, rightfully so. And he's leading a chorus of Republicans because Donald Trump is done. He is a lame duck. He no longer has a death hold on these Republicans anymore. And you got like Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. We're going to talk about that again in just a second. Resigning, we'll talk about that again in just a second. But it's one thing after another that keeps happening. Bowler Raymond, good to see you. Did you see in Georgia they are trying to dismiss the RICO case against Trump and his goons? This entire party is more than a disgrace. Yeah, there are a lot of machinations going on, and that's kind of the whole point of the show today. Donnie may be lame. He may be a lame duck. He's on his way out the door. He has lost his control, but he is an animal backed into a corner, and that is dangerous. That is dangerous. There's a lot of shit he can do that is dangerous, and one of the things we've seen is what they did with Mark Kelly. And that, my friends, may be the tipping point to where we see our second Republican resignation in Don Bacon. So let me explain here. He is pissed about this. You've got this idiot. You've got Makeup Mirror Pete, that is disrespecting Mark Kelly. And I don't need to remind you who Mark Kelly is. Mark Kelly is 100% a hero. He is a combat pilot. He's an astronaut with the medals to prove it. And in his response, Mark Kelly posted a picture of his uniform and said, look, I'm not going to be bullied about this. I know the UCMJ, and Trump is nothing but a bully. And Pete Hegseth disrespected his uniform. That idiot alcoholic disrespected Mark Kelly's uniform with his medals. Yeah, I am telling you, this is not going well. Veterans are pissed about this. If you don't know what's going on there, if you've been on the moon for the last week, Pete Keg Breath is threatening to recall Senator Mark Kelly, an American hero, back into the military to prosecute him under the UCMJ for, get this, quoting the UCMJ. The Code of Military Justice is the crime that he supposedly committed. He told soldiers to follow the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. And they want to try, they're threatening to prosecute him for that. It's a joke. It's a laugh. Everybody shrugged this off. Nobody, think about this, folks. This is where I wanted to go with this. Think about a year ago. Now we're over a year in. We're 11 months. We're 11 months from the midterm elections. And our whole world changes. We're just 11 months away. But think back to a year ago. How terrifying things like this were to us, to even me. Because we didn't know. We didn't know if the institutions were going to hold. We didn't know if the American people were going to say, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We didn't know how people were going to react to troops in the streets and how they just, how it became just a joke to see National Guard troops walking through high-end shopping districts with their hands in their pockets while people are sitting around in the cafes on the sidewalk sipping their coffee. We didn't know how it was going to play out. We didn't know if we were going to be able to control the narratives. It was a scary time. It was. But compare how that feels to now. Carl Rossi, thank you for always being here, my man. I really appreciate you for always supporting the show. It is over. Add that ICE has lost all legitimacy and has widespread resistance in videos for future court evidence. We may those extra camp beds. I think he's trying to say we may need those extra camp beds for Trump's brown shirts when the axe falls. And yeah, people are really going after ICE. There are lots of people, citizen journalists, that are taking video of these guys and they're doing background checks on them. And we're finding out who these people are. Yeah, there's a lot going forward that's going to be very different. And that's the point of what I was just trying to say. Think about how different it feels. Trump just threatened a U.S. senator, I'm going to force you back into the military and prosecute you. And everybody went, yeah, good luck with that, asshole. Good luck with that. Very different from a year ago. So yeah, when I say lame Duck Donny's done, he's done. He is done. E.T., thank you for always being here, brother. Loved how Columbia professor publicly called Trump a tantruming child at the G19. Even better was watching the hearing impaired lady saying, lady translating. I should have had that for you. Yeah, the G20, we didn't go. We didn't go. China went. China was there. We didn't go. And yes, while we weren't there, they called Trump a tantruming child. But look, this is where I'm going with this, folks. This is where I'm going with this. Yeah. He is making it publicly known. You're going to see Don Bacon. I am speculating here. But Inside Baseball says Don Bacon is going to be one of the next ones that resigns. And he's making it publicly known to give cover to other Republicans that are thinking about it. Here's the deal. This is Don Bacon. Now, I disagree with Don Bacon on everything, but I will tell you this. I respect the fact that he served. Before he was Congressman Don Bacon, he was Brigadier General Don Bacon. He was pilot. His call sign was Bits. Get it? Bacon Bits? Yeah, 29 years in the Air Force. Really? And I got to tell you, if you just take a look at what he's looking at, he's got his military retirement. He's fully vested in his congressional retirement. His federal retirement is about as good as it gets. There's nothing keeping him monetarily in Congress. Nothing. And people are like, well, the insider trading benefit and all the other stuff, yada, yada, yada. No, not for this guy. And let me tell you why. This guy, if you had to draw a cartoon caricature of a multi-million-dollar lobbyist, it would look exactly like Don Bacon. 29 years in the Air Force. I can't remember, was it 2017 he went into Congress? He has a 7-figure job waiting for him the second he walks out of Congress. Oh, yeah. Every K Street lobbyist will be just begging him, come work for us. Come work for us. There is no reason whatsoever Don Bacon has to stay in Congress. In fact, given the current environment and where this is about to go, because I will tell you, I and every Democrat I know is petty as fuck right now. We want those hearings. We want those investigations. Oh, you opened an investigation into Mark Kelly? Okay. Game on. Let's talk about it. You got Pete Kegbreath went out to a camera and said, we opened an investigation into Mark Kelly. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're investigating a man that you claim you're going to prosecute under the Uniform Code of Military Justice for making a commercial that tells American troops to follow the Uniform Code of Military Justice. But you opened an investigation. Well, let me be the first one to say thank you, motherfucker. Thank you. Because my road is not the high road. My road is the road right beneath the one you plow. Because I'm going to bring a bulldozer in and I'm going to fuck every one of you I can. See, let me explain something to you folks. I don't get paid by the Democratic Party. I don't. But I do favors for the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates every chance I get. And I do it for free. You know why? Because come November 2028, old Texas Paul has an ask. And no, it's not an ambassadorship. Although I would take one. I would, someplace uncomplicated. I couldn't fuck up. Maybe with a beach somewhere. Tonga. Tonga sounds nice. But that's neither here nor there. I don't ask for anything. And come November 2028, when we whip their asses, you better believe I'm going to be holding my little handful of chips and I'm going to call every freaking person I know. And the thing I'm going to ask for is an attorney general that is not the paragon of virtue. I want a hyper-partisan, brutal son of a bitch of an attorney general. That's what I want. I want an attorney general that pushes the limit so freaking bad that it's Republicans screaming, we need legislation about this. So when it comes to the fact that you have now opened an investigation on Mark Kelly, let me again say, thank you, motherfucker. Thank you. Now, you're Don Bacon. And you got old Texas Paul, and you've got all kinds of people. No, I don't want Jack Smith. I don't want Jack Smith. I don't. A lot of people say that. Make Jack Smith Attorney General. I mean, I know he's a name, and I know he has a great track record, but that's not what I'm looking for. Jack Smith has ethics, man. Jack Smith plays by the rules. He would be a great attorney general. Yes, but not the one I want. Not the one I want. I want an attorney general that makes Roy Cohn look like he's got morals. That's what I want. I want the next attorney general to be slightly embarrassing. he breaks the rules so badly. I do. I do. I am not looking for the high road. Thank you. I appreciate that, Marcia. I appreciate the support. I really do. It's Higgs breath. see where we are. We're in such a different place than we were a year ago. We've got this figured out. We've got this figured out, man. We're not in the same place we were a year ago. Nobody's scared anymore. Nobody's scared anymore. And yes, you've got Trump saying things like quiet piggy. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Who the hell do you think you are, old man? You have people actively rooting for reporters to humiliate the president of the United States. We're in a very different place. We are in a very different place. And I got to tell you, I mean, like, this is how it started. This is how it started. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene that acted like an albino bonobo. Humiliated herself in the State of the Union and whatnot. Now she's resigned. And everybody's like, well, she wants to be a senator and she's just, this is just, no, she's running for the hills, man. For the same reason as Don Bacon. I'm going to shock you. I'm going to say something nice about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Are you ready? Brace yourself. See, before she went into Congress and acted like a complete idiot, she was on a very different path. Marjorie Taylor Greene, before she became the clown of Congress, was widely well respected as, what's the best way to put this? She was widely well respected as an example for young women. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Really. See, before she made an absolute fool out of herself in Congress, and she's one of those people that ended up her congressional career actually hurt her more than it helped her. See, before she became a congressman, she used to run a company. And I'm talking about a successful company called Taylor Commercial Construction Incorporated. Her daddy's company. She took it over. And I mean, it's successful. That's where the Marjorie Taylor Greene comes from. It is successful. And she was widely, I mean, look at that. I mean, the average Procore project size, Procore is a bidding site, $45 million. Yeah. I mean, they from Pennsylvania to Florida, from Tennessee to North Carolina. You're talking about somebody that was widely respected as an up-and-coming business professional, successful business professional. Then she joined Congress and started acting like a drunk monkey and showed everybody her worst side. No, she is not leaving Congress to try to advance her political career. That's over. That ship has sailed. She's leaving Congress to try to rescue what she had before she became a congressman. Yeah. There are a lot of Republicans sitting in that exact same position. They are sitting in that exact same position. They don't want to be investigated. They don't want people looking at their insider trading. They don't want people looking at that. They've got the Republicans literally opening bullshit investigations into people that have set the precedents. They cannot bitch about, oh, the government's picking on us. They can't. You've got a lot of people in Congress, both Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats aren't going anywhere, though, because this is going to be a good time for Democrats. But the Republicans, oh, shit's about to get bad. And a lot of them don't need that gig. Guys like Don Bacon doesn't need that. He will get a pay raise if he leaves Congress. Mr. Knudsen, U.S. Attorney General, who do you want? Any of these texts? Larry Krasner, Letitia James, Keith Ellison. I like Keith Ellison. I like Keith. Premier Jayapal. No. Stacey Abrams. Don't know if she's got the chops for it, to be quite honest with you. I love Stacey Abrams, but as far as I want somebody that's incredibly, a lot of prosecutorial experience would be nice. I'll be honest with you. I got a couple. I'm not going to say their names right now because I don't want to give them any baggage, but I got a couple people in mind. I've got a couple people in mind. I do. It's not something I want to put out there right now, okay? I really don't. I don't want to put that out there right now. But no, not Kamala Harris. No. Kamala Harris is she's got a lot. I'm talking about somebody who's politically brutal. Kamala Harris has character. Much too much character to bend the rules the way I want them bent. Now, see that? Now you're talking. Somebody like Jasmine Crockett. I'm telling you, Jasmine Crockett's a great person. She really is. But she's a fighter. She is a fighter. And she doesn't fight on the, let's be great people ground. She fights where the fight is at. That's the kind of person I'm talking about. I'm not talking about somebody who's a bad person. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about somebody that says, okay, you want to go in the ditch? Okay, that's where we're going to fight. I'm going to jump in that ditch and I'm going to beat the shit out of you right in that ditch. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. But folks, let's be realistic. Let's talk about what we're facing. There's a lot of talk right now. People love to sell the dream. Oh, there's going to be so many Republican resignations that we're going to gain control of Congress even before the midterms. And you're hearing that stuff. And hey, it's a possibility. It is. It's a possibility. It really is. Because right now, it makes no sense to stay on the Trump train. None whatsoever. Not financially. There are a lot of people. I love Jamie Raskin. Oh, yeah. I love Jamie Raskin. There's a couple. There's a couple folks that I like. I like Jamie Raskin. I do. But look, I'll tell you who all right. You're going to keep at it until all right. Let me tell you. You know who I want for Attorney General? First pick. Adam Schiff. A lot of people got really mad because he gut punched Katie Porter in that election. You know what that showed me? Yeah, that dude understands the fights. And he is willing to get a little dirty. I like Adam Schiff. That is my dream. A broke ass, weak Donald Trump looking at Attorney General Adam Schiff. That's my first pick. Richard Lawton. Jasmine Crockett sure knows how to read the room. Yes, she does. She is going to be a tremendous leader. Yeah, Jamie Raskin is fantastic. He is fantastic. He really is. I am a huge fan of Jamie Raskin. I am. But look, this is the kind of things that we're facing, okay? You got Trump, who's, the whole Ukraine. Let's wrap this whole Ukraine thing up. Ukraine's fighting for their lives. And then here you come with Trump because he's desperate for a win. He is desperate for a win. The economy's tanking. I mean, every avenue, Trump is a loser, and everything he does just makes it worse. So he's desperate for a win. So he is trying to shove this peace plan down Zelensky's throat. And let me be honest with you folks. Volodymyr Zelensky is not in the same position he was 2 years ago. He is not. This war has cost lives. This war has disrupted the Ukrainian people's lives for a long time. And whereas the Ukraine peace plan for the longest time was, hey, you want peace? Get the fuck out of my country. They may cede some property. They may cede some land. This is not the same Ukraine that it was 2 years ago. They're getting buried in debt. They're not getting the help out of Europe they should. They're not getting the help out of us they should. You just have to look at this from a reality point of view and what they're dealing with. And yeah, you can see Volodymyr Zelensky making a deal where he cedes some property to Russia, some Ukrainian land to Russia for peace, which will be temporary. You know it. I know it. But at least stop the war for a while. It's not what you want to see. It's not what I want to see. It's not what the Ukrainian people want to see. But it is what the oligarchs in Europe want to see. It is what the oligarchs in the United States want to see. It is what the oligarchs in Russia want to see. Because it lets everybody start making money again. But Ukraine's not a huge player in Europe because they are hobbled with debt. Their infrastructure has to be rebuilt. They are years away from reaching their potential as a truly capitalist, free nation. They're years away from reaching their potential. They've got an educated population. Ukrainians, I've said this over and over again. Ukraine was the jewel that carried the Soviet Union, not Russia. Not Russia. Everything good that came out of the Soviet Union came out of Ukraine. It will take them years to get on their feet. And Trump is desperate to say, I did something. Just like the Gaza, that's screaming about this Gaza peace plan that wasn't real. And I told you, what did I tell you? You can go back and watch the show. I'm like, there's no peace plan here. There's no peace plan here. Same people sitting at the table. Hamas is sitting at the table. Netanyahu's sitting at the table. There is no peace plan. So what do we have? All-out war. Right now, today, they're killing each other again. Peace plan is over. Same thing will happen in Ukraine. We'll get a temporary thing where Trump is going to say, oh, look what I did. But everybody knows Russia's not done. Nope. They're not done. Moldova's next. It's going to be a mess, folks. We're going to have a lot to deal with in the future because of the failed leadership of Donald Trump. Rock and Ron, a.k.a. Ron Slater, good to see you, brother. Will you talk about Tanya Chutkin's order to release files based on FOIA request? I totally agree with you on Shift. Not in this show, but I absolutely, we are going to be talking about it. We are going to be talking about it. Vincent Day, thank you for your show. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Thank you, brother. Thank you for always being here. All you new people, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. We've got almost 3,000 people in here with no major breaking news. So yeah, we're getting the information out that needs to get out, the background information people need. So yeah, that's Ukraine right now. Let's just put a pin in that and move on. We're going to have a lot to talk about with it. Yes, exactly. Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Finland. This is not going to end well because of the poor sight of the Neville Chamberlain type oligarchs that are in both Europe, the United States, and they're just greedy, sick bastards that did not just end this problem when they could have. Regina H. 321, happy Thanksgiving. What do you think about Joe Neguse for Solicitor General? I like Joe Neguse. But I would like to see him stay in Congress. I believe you're seeing the beginning of Joe Neguse's political career. You're just seeing the beginning of it. He's the kind of guy that I want to see moving into leadership. He's the kind of guy that I want influencing our politics for years. Oh, and by the way, I just got a box full of flip coffee with no name on it, no return address, no name. So holler at me with an email. That I really appreciate it. For 3 different kinds of flipped coffee. That was really generous of you. Thank you. Just pulled it out of the P.O. box. Look, these are the kind of things that we're dealing with, okay? This, my friends, is Lexington, Nebraska. Lexington, Nebraska. There ain't much in Nebraska. There really isn't. You've got Lincoln and Omaha are the 2 major cities. Beyond that, there isn't much going on. But this little red dot right here is Lexington, Nebraska. You don't know it, but it's actually been pretty important to you personally. You don't know that you have ties to Lexington, Nebraska. And again, I can back it out, but it's just not much to see. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Here's Cheyenne. There's Omaha. You get the general location of it. So what's your tie to Lexington, Nebraska? Your grocery bill's tied to it. Your grocery bill is very much tied to Lexington, Nebraska. And here's why. Here's why. Regina H. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, I just talked about that one. Sorry about that. I want to make sure I get to everybody that supports the show. Andrew Borth, 6629. Thank you. Made it live, almost a regular. Got caught up at a 4x4 speed rant on the next AG. Was great. I admit I misunderstood Ride or Die. Jasmine is 44. Jasmine for AG. Adam S. Have to take a second look. Danger, left bias, demagogue, no over pivot on flashy and loud. Yeah, I catch a lot of hell. People don't understand Ride or Die. I mean, there's so many people are caught up with, well, I want to change the leadership of the Democratic Party. Okay, cool. Well, leadership elections aren't until not today. Definitely not today. So they misunderstand what being a ride or die Democrat's about. And I did a video explaining to people, being a ride or die Democrat is about primarying people, basically. It's about not shooting ourselves in the foot after we primary somebody. It's about standing behind the one political party that we can actually manipulate and get things done that we want done. We can't do that with the Republican Party. They're dead as disco, man. They are 100% in for the oligarchs. The culture wars and sucking up to the oligarchs. That's all there's no place in the Republican Party to get anything done. Dirk Al, Glenn Kirshner, former federal prosecutor, ultimate badass. Glenn would be an amazing pick because justice matters. There are a lot of really great people that we're going to see in the future. We have a deep bench, folks. And let me tell you something. The Republican Party as a whole. Okay, you're in a room with, say, 2,000 people, right? 2,000 people. Of that 2,000 people, every year, 4 of them die from gunshots. Every year it happens. Every year, 4 of those 2,000 people, pop, 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 pop. You're going to die of gun violence. Every year, you're going to get, what's the math on it? Let's say 35 times 4, 70, about 200 of them are going to die needlessly from preventable diseases. Another 100 of them are going to die because, are going to end up in bankruptcy, and they're going to die from unnecessary suicides, and they're going to see you're seeing the numbers here, right? I mean, and in this situation, you're in this room dealing with this situation. The Republicans decide ruining the lives of 8 transgender people. 8 transgender people is what's important. It's what's important. It's all they talk about. With everything else that's going on, there is no room in the Republican Party for anyone who's trying to take care of our country. There's no room in the Republican Party for anyone that is trying to get anything done. It's only the Democratic Party. And that's what being a ride or die Democrat is about. It is support the people within the party. Make the changes within the party. I'm left of most of the party, yet I still support the party. I say fight it out in the primaries. Get your people in there. But if your guy don't win or your gal doesn't win, you don't piss in the punch. You don't ruin it. You don't take a 90% win and turn it into a 100% loss. That's not what we do. That's not what we do here. For all you new folks, and yes, we are a group. The Ride or Die Democrats are known by hearts and skulls. I got pins coming so people can identify themselves as Ride or Die Democrats. It's hearts and skulls. You'll see them in the comments. They'll show you the blue hearts and skulls. Where are my Ride or Die Democrats at? It doesn't mean you've got to accept the status quo. It just means you don't piss on the brand, you don't suppress the vote, and you keep the Democratic Party moving in the right direction. That's what it means to be a ride or die Democrat. That's what it means. I got diverted. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that, folks. But this happened. See, Lexington, Nebraska, as we were talking about, is home to one of Tyson's largest beef processing plants. And they just laid off over 3,000 people and shut the plant down as of this January. It's over. It's a done deal. That plant is gone. Folks, Lexington only has about 11,000 people in it. That means 1 in 4 people in Lexington work at this processing plant. What do you think is going to happen to that part of Nebraska? What do you think is going to happen to that part of Nebraska? It doesn't take much imagination to know it's toast. It's done. It's done. Now, why? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? They can't get enough cows to slaughter. It's just a business decision. They can't get enough cows to slaughter to justify that big ass plant. So they're moving their business. They're moving. We've got a processing facility that's not quite as big here in Texas. They're going to move a lot of their business here to Texas. Did you hear me though? With beef prices astronomically high, Tyson is shutting down a processing facility to process beef that they're making a boatload of money on because they can't get the cows. That sounds reasonably important to me. I mean, that sounds like something we may want to talk about a little bit. And I have to tell you, the cattle and ranching industry is in a full freak out right now. They really are. See, a lot of the Wyoming ranchers, they sent their cows through that facility every year. They sent their cattle through that facility to be processed. And it's going to be gone. That means they're going to have to ship them elsewhere. That means prices will be higher. But they're also acknowledging that, hey, there ain't nothing we can do about this. See, the cattle industry is in a pickle. We talked a little bit about this before, about them trying to rebuild herds. But, yeah, it takes time. See, prices have been so high, they're They're selling. They're selling what they got. But then you've got to keep mama cows. We talked about mama cows and, keeping broke tooth cows on and to teach the mama cows. We talked about all that in the prior show. But they're not able to rebuild their herds. And I say when they're not able, I mean, it's like there isn't enough beef on the market. Prices are extremely high. So the number of cows you would keep back, the number of heifers you would keep back to rebuild is too low. It's just too low. And they know that it's a problem, that means the rebuilding these herds is going to take time. I want to share you a paragraph or two out of that article where they're talking about it. Let me read this to you. Turnaround is going to be very slow, Good said. We are keeping heifers, but it's at a much lower pace than we did in previous cycles. Exactly what I was just talking to you about. The way you grow your herd is you keep mama cows back. You don't sell them. One bull can service an entire field of mama cows. You know what I mean? You don't need bulls. You need mama cows. Well, prices are so high. Last year they kept back like 33% of their cattle. 33% of the heifers they didn't sell off. They kept them back as mama cows. This year they're only keeping back 34%. Only 1% more. I mean, they're trying to grow their herds, but there isn't enough beef to be processed. And it's a problem. And they talk about here why. Prolonged drought is a main contributor. That means feed prices are high. If you can't just allow your cattle to just graze, and I have to tell you, I'm really proud of the industry. They have figured out that clearing these fields, loading it up with things like Bahia grass, and fertilizing the shit out of it is not the best way to go. They figured out that if they allow these fields to go fallow, they can't put the same number of cows on them, but the cows are healthier and the fields are healthier. This has been going on at the same time we're having beef shortages, but it is going to be a net positive over the next few years. There's a lot of things contributing. Prolonged drought is the main contributor to downsizing of the herds, but Good listed several other recent challenges. And I want you to pay really close attention to this because these are huge. These are systemic. And we're talking about your hamburger prices, folks. The aging producer. Bingo. Bingo. We are an aging population, and so many kids in regions where I live don't want to raise cattle. They don't want to do what daddy did. Even the small folks that have jobs, they're firemen, they're teachers, but they've got cows at home. They don't want to do it. They want to move. They want to get the hell out of here. They're tired of these miserable old bitter people. They want to go where things are happening and popping and do jobs that, don't require them to be out there with cows scraping. Man, have you never heard of what scours are? I got to tell you, I was out there with my father-in-law. I don't raise cattle. I do not. That is a nasty ass job. I don't raise cattle. My father-in-law raised cattle, and I will tell you, I'd be out there with him, and you'd have a cow that had scours. That's diarrhea, folks, if you don't know. And it would be so filthy, their tail would stick to their butt, and you'd have to take a pocket knife and peel the tail loose with the pocket knife very carefully, not to hurt the cow, and then scrape it off. And meanwhile, this cow's trying to shit all over you. There's kids don't want to do this job. It's an aging population just like everything else. That is a huge part of it. The other thing it says here, urban sprawl. That's bullshit. We have more land than we know what to do with. We have more land than we know what to do with in this country. We do not have a problem with population. We do not have a problem with urban growth. In fact, we need more urban growth in this country. We really do. We need more urban growth in this country. That is a bullshit statement. Alternative land uses. That's the other red flag that I want you to pay attention to. Alternative land uses. You have tons. Feed is so high because of the drought. You have people that don't want to mess with the cows that have turned into, you heard the expression hayseed farmers. This is a big deal. There's a lot of people that went from raising cows to just cutting hay to sell the hay. It's cheaper, it's cleaner, less to mess with, and they're still making money on it because feed prices are so high. That, and you've got a lot of people that have turned into, again, we've talked about low input farming. An input is a cost. People are inputs. When you got to hire hands, like apple farmers versus, say, a corn farmer. Berries, your strawberries, down in Poteet, Texas, they raise strawberries like crazy. That is a high labor intensive crop. You've got a lot of inputs, a lot of different costs. Corn, on the other hand, is pretty much set it and forget it. You can buy equipment that you can pay off by not paying hands and labor and all the other stuff. And you can basically farm damn near by yourself with little or no inputs and costs. It's a set it and forget it crop. Soybeans is another one. You heard a lot about soybeans. These are low input crops. Now I'm simplifying this shit. I can hear the farmers already talking. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, I know it's way more complicated than that, guys. It is, but we don't have that kind of time. And I'm already seeing people's eyes glaze over. But alternative land uses is a problem. They're using, instead of raising cows, they're doing other things. Cost and availability of capital. Yes, that is a huge one. We'll wrap it up with that. There's a lot of headwinds there as far as getting that expansion cycle going. What he's telling you here is loans are expensive. So you can't just go out and buy expensive cattle, because this is what happens. They're making money on the cows. They bring the money into their businesses, and then they turn around and they go to the auction and say, hey, I made a ton of money. Imagine what I'd make if I bought a bunch of cows at auction. But cows at auction are really expensive right now. Normally, they just bite that bullet and buy to try to supercharge their growth. But that's not happening, because the cost is so high, it doesn't make any sense. It's just going to take time. Cows don't grow overnight. They're an investment. So look, those beef prices, where I'm going with this, let me land this plane. Where I'm going with this is one of the challenges we're facing, that inflation, those beef prices are going to be high for a while, and there's nothing we can do about it. And Donny Dumbass has done nothing. He's done nothing. Now, so I see somebody mentioning hog farms, and yes, they do smell the worst. They are awful. They are awful. They smell terrible. The shit runoff ponds that they have are just freaking. But why? That doesn't just mean your beef prices are going up. That means people that normally would buy some hamburger and everything else, they got to buy something else. That means your pork prices are going to go up. That means that they're going to be introducing things. Somebody says sheep. I say, I love you people. You're so far ahead of the conversation. You're going to see a resurgence over the next few years of people going back to eating lamb chops, alternative meats, chicken. They are not back to 100% yet either in their production. So you're going to start seeing pressure on these other proteins. You are. That we're just facing that. And we've got Donny Dumbass running the show. We've got Brooke Rollins, a complete idiot in charge of our agriculture. And we're just going to have to deal with it for the next couple of years. I mean, this is why it's so critical that we do nail it in the midterms. We have to focus on getting Democrats in power in the midterms. That's just one issue that we're going to talk about. Peter Campbell, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please stay informed and safe out there. Feel better, Mr. and Mrs. Tech. Thank you. I appreciate you, guys. And take care of yourself. This stuff's going around. Y'all are going to have it. Y'all are going to have it. Now, I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind while we talk about this. This has exploded all over everyone's social media, and I'm talking about Campbell's soup. Look, we've talked about this before. We have got to grow, produce, process, cook, package, deliver, and sell about 1.2 billion pounds of food every day. Every damn day, right here in the United States of America. Europe, the numbers may be different, but it's the same situation. Now, we got our European audience. I see a lot of people on our European. Mr. Knutson here is from Norway. He's part of our European audience. I love to hear you talking about farming. Keep it up. A tractor tire and wheel salesman like me can never get enough. I got a mean recipe for sheep's head if any are interested. I'm telling you, Mr. Knutson, I'm telling you, if you got people talking to people, you need to talk to them about, I'm telling you, when things like this happen, sheep is an acceptable protein in this country. Lamb chops, people will eat those. Opportunity knocking. Opportunity knocking for our European friends. Your beef is too expensive. We won't buy it here. Not as much as, your beef is very expensive. By the way, European beef is just fantastic because I will tell you, when they say grass-fed over there, it's grass fucking fed. In the United States, it's a ripoff. Somebody sells you, I'm going to sell you grass-fed beef. Okay, great. What did they feed it at the feedlot? Because it sure as hell wasn't grass. You took this cow, you raised it on grass. Great for you. But when you sold it, they took it and they put it on a feedlot, which is sat on the feedlot, and they fed it out to get it to the right fat content. They fed it corn. They fed it grains. They didn't feed it grass. And it stays there long enough that it doesn't matter. The taste, because cows taste like what they eat. If you've never had, see, down here in Texas, we're kind of spoiled. My boy does this, by the way. I'm very proud of him. Very industrious. He raises cows and has them processes and sells the meat. You're getting true grass-fed cows that way. And it tastes different. It is freaking stellar. You'll notice I don't say, man, I hope your steak's as good as mine. I hope it's better, because it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. But what they tell you in the supermarket is grass-fed beef. It's bullshit. It goes to a feedlot, it gets fed corn, it gets fed out. You're getting the same beef that tastes the same as everything else. But this is leading me to, I want to talk about Campbell's soup. If you haven't heard what's going on with Campbell's soup, there's a huge thing all over social media that's just blowing up everywhere about Campbell's soup. Joan Prim, what's going on with the horses in Texas that I've been hanging out, hearing about with what the horse disease, and is that going to affect cattle prices? No, horses don't really have much to do. The screwworm is, when you don't want to talk about diseases, nothing to do with the horses and the problems they're having with horses. But the screwworm, folks, the government has always done things. And one of the things that our government used to do was we helped Mexico with their screwworm problem every year. We've talked about the screwworm in a prior show. The screwworm is transported by a fly, and we would help Mexico deal with their screwworm problem every year. We would literally breed sterile flies here in the United States, fly them down on a plane to Mexico, and we would release them. That wasn't free. It wasn't free. It cost us money. But what it did was it kept the screwworm population under control. Well, Republicans don't like to do shit. The government's bad. The government's bad. So that is why Scott Bessent was saying that stupid shit of the illegal aliens were coming and they were bringing their diseased cows with them. No. We used to help Mexico deal with their screwworm problem, and you wanted to be America first, and you stopped. You stopped. You stopped doing your job. When you do America only, you're not doing America first, because our relationship with other countries and the things that our government does are important to America and Americans. 1 second. Thank you for being patient with me in this damn cold. So, yeah, you actually had Scott Besson that looked into a camera and said, I guess they were hoisting them cows over the wall. He didn't say that, but he literally said, illegal aliens were coming into the country and bringing their diseased Mexican cows with them. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. I mean, really. And then you've got MAGA going, oh, tell me some more turds. Tell me some more. Tell me some more, Scotty. So stupid. But talking about stupid, this happened. This really happened. Campbell's Soup executive called its products for food, for, quote, poor people, lawsuit alleges. He said a lot more than that. Martin Bally. Let me introduce you to Martin Bally. This is Martin Bally. He is an executive at Campbell's Soup. And let me tell you the whole freaking story. There's a guy by the name of Robert Garza who worked in cybersecurity. This executive has nothing to do with food production. He knows shit about making food. You know, Pace pecani sauce. Y'all remember New York City? Y'all remember the Pace pecani sauce commercials? Well, that's made by Campbell's. Campbell's owns that. Campbell's makes all kinds of food. This guy knows shit. Nothing about purchasing, about food production, about anything. He is an example of what is wrong with American executive culture. Everything. This piece of shit ran his mouth about Campbell's product, and he did it on multiple occasions. He said, Campbell's for poor people. Let me tell you something. I grew up on Campbell's Soup. I did. I grew up on it. They never marketed it to me as a health food. They didn't. Stuff's packed with sodium. I know what it is. You know what it is. You know damn well there's a lot of salt in Campbell's Soup. There is. You got to buy the low sodium stuff if you want it to be more healthy. But we do know it's inexpensive. And I ate a lot of it growing up because we were poor people. But he's sitting there talking about it like that's a bad thing. And he won't eat it. He works for Campbell's. He works in cybersecurity. He works in cybersecurity. He has nothing to do with food production, doesn't know shit about it, but he says Campbell's Soup is for poor people. He won't eat it. He won't feed it to his family. It's trash. It's made out of 3D printed meat, which is bullshit. It's not, but I'm going to tear that apart here in a minute. It's made with 3D printed meat, and it's just terrible. And of course, the bullshit industry, primarily on Instagram, has gone fucking nuts with this. They don't tell people this guy doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. They don't tell people he doesn't have anything to do with Campbell's food production at all. They're telling people Campbell's Soup is made with 3D printed meat. It's engineered meat. So let's talk about it. George Allen, please be well. Texas Palm. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. I appreciate you always being here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. They do. They own a lot of products. They make a lot of products. And let me tell you something. Campbell's tomato soup is still one of my favorite products. And let me tell you what I'm pissed off. Really pissed off about it. They don't make it with 3D printed meat. I wish they did, but it would be so expensive. It would be some of the most expensive food that you could buy, because that is not where people go. Me and Mrs. Texas Paul fight about this like crazy. Oh my God, we fight about that. She thinks the concept of lab grown meat is disgusting. I think it is thoroughly amazing because I believe in science. Let me flesh this fight out for you. And I want to hear in the comments where y'all fall on this. And then I want to tell you where I'm going with this. Campbell's has put a statement out, says Campbell's defends its soup, calls executive alleged remarks on ingredients absurd. This guy is going to be fired. Campbell's refuted the claim that soups are made with bioengineered meat. It's not. It's just not. This is what happened. Guy by the name of Robert Garza worked in cybersecurity, worked for Martin Bally. Martin Bally kept running his mouth about the products, so Robert Garza did something that is a no-no. You don't do this. He secretly recorded a Campbell's executive, aka Martin Bally. And he recorded their conversations, and he sent that to corporate headquarters. Is it a good thing that he recorded it? Yeah. Is it a good thing that Campbell's heard what this guy was saying? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Is this guy a freaking idiot that's going to end up unemployed? Yup. He sure is. He sure is. But here's the straight deal. Robert Garza, the minute they found out he was recording Campbell's executives, even though he was dead right, they fired him on the spot. They fired him on the spot. They said, you cannot do that because we don't know what you're going to do with those recordings. That is against the rules. You're one of our cybersecurity experts. You have now surveilled one of our executives, right or wrong, you're fired. Robert Garza sued them. In court, these recordings came out because Robert Garza is trying to pressure Campbell's into a settlement. He's not trying to get his job back. There's no place for Robert Garza at Campbell's anymore. That's just not going to happen. He's trying to force them into a settlement, which this is a black eye that Campbell's is going to take. They're going to have an whole ad campaign. You're going to have to see that, no, Campbell's chicken soup is made with actual chicken. But this isn't the part that's got me angry. I understand all of this. Robert Garza thought he was doing a good thing. This executive was an idiot. Campbell's handled this shit poorly. Everybody's getting the black eyes they deserve. That is not the part that has me pissed off. It is not. Hey, Texas Paul, there's a boycott on spending to protest Trump. It started yesterday and will last 7 days. Please spread the word. Thank you. I know I took a lot of shit because I was doing some grocery shopping yesterday. And it's like, look, I'm not going to boycott eating Thanksgiving with my family. I am boycotting the Black Friday stuff. I'm boycotting the Cyber Monday stuff. But I'm not doing, go buy your damn groceries. I don't give a damn what anybody tells you. But look. This is what has me more pissed off and angry, and I have a fury of 10,000 exploding suns over this shit. This stuff is all over Instagram. These people make me sick, and they do it over everything. It's just like the anti-vaxxers. And I want to be clear about something. I want, just for some credibility, I do not monetize my Instagram. I don't. I've got a huge platform there. I don't monetize it. I don't make a penny off Instagram. I don't monetize TikTok. The only thing I monetize is YouTube right here. You people are the only people that are keeping me in business. The Democratic Party doesn't pay me. None of that happens. If I tell you about a product or anything, it's just because I freaking like it. Okay? But I hate these sons of bitches on Instagram because they're doing it because they do monetize their channels. They're doing it for clicks. And this shit drives me up the freaking wall. They attacked strawberries, telling them that strawberries were full of worms. Bullshit. They attacked pork, saying pork was full of worms. Pour Coca-Cola on it and worms will come out. That was bullshit. That was completely made up bullshit. They told you, oh, McDonald's is screwing you over their drinks. Look, you take a small and pour it into a medium. It's the same amount. No, it isn't. You had fluid in the bottom of the goddamn cup and you wanted clicks on Instagram. So you took a semi-full medium-sized cup and you poured a small cup into it and made it look like it was the same amount. And you lied. You lied. And you hurt a company that employs people. You know, and that's the part that pisses me off. This whole Campbell's thing has led to a rash of people. Well, let me just play it for you. This is all over. And this ain't the only guy. This is all freaking over social media. All of the huckster accounts. These are people that don't know shit about shit. They don't follow up anything. They don't know that Martin Belly didn't know shit about Campbell's food production. They don't know where he worked. All they're saying is this to scare people and get clicks for a few measly bucks on their Instagram account.
Campbell's is in hot water after their VP was caught on a hot mic saying their soups use bioengineered meat and that only poor people eat them. In the recording, he said this.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's healthy. Now that I know what the in it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
If the vice president of the company is talking about his soup this way, I'm never eating it again. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and make sure to follow if you want to get all your news in one place.
All right. That's the part that pisses me off. There are employees at Campbell's Soup. John Robbins, 755. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I prayed to God to let the demon win. We're going to talk about the 7th Tennessee. We are. That's in the show. We're talking about that. We're going to talk about this. Stick with me. We're going to go a little long today. Why does this have me so angry? Okay. First of all, it's not bioengineered meat. Bioengineered meat is really fucking expensive. It's not cheap. I hope it gets cheap. I really do. Because let me tell you something. This is where me and Mrs. Texas Paul differ. She's like, lab-grown meat, gross. I'm like, baby, you grew up with cattle. You know how fucking filthy those animals are. If they can take the exact same chemical process that happens inside a cow's leg and make it happen in a lab where he's not standing in shit, because I'll take you down to a feedlot and let you see what it looks like. It is not pretty. It is not pretty. Cows standing around in mud and shit that deep. They're not clean. They give them injections full of antibiotics to keep them from getting sick because they're dirty. I'm all for lab-grown meat. I really am. I'm going to tell you, I am. It's the same chemical process, processed in a laboratory in clean settings. Yeah, brother, that's me. I'm okay. Mrs. Texas Paul? Oh, hell no. She's like, that's gross. That's nasty. That's not natural. That is not, so everybody's got a different opinion. But I'm telling you, this is not bioengineered meat. That is expensive. Campbell's isn't doing that. They're using chicken. And this fucker on Instagram, Chiron One, love the show. You, Mr. Texas Paul. Is that Low Road Democrat banner available for sale? It is not. That was a gift from Tony. He's the guy that gives me information when I have questions about farms and shit like that. I email Tony Polkabreck up in Minnesota. He sent me that as a gift. No, it's not for sale. Elisa message, but I do have a cup that says low. I got a Low Road Democrat cup if you want a cup. Elise message, have a nice Thanksgiving. Thank you. I appreciate you. You have a nice Thanksgiving too. Where I am going with this, folks, there are employees that work at Campbell's that take care of their families, that make a good product. You've eaten Campbell's soup forever. You know it's chicken in the chicken noodle soup. Tomato soup, Campbell's tomato soup is my go-to even today. Campbell's tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. It's a good product. And Campbell's does not pay me anything. I just know we have to produce 1 to 1.2 billion pounds of food every day. and deliver it to the stores, and people have to be able to afford to buy it. And as somebody that grew up poor, I'm telling you, my parents had 5 kids and 1 income for the longest time. My mama didn't work till I was in high school. I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you, this ain't right. This isn't right. Yes, this executive that works at Campbell's said stupid shit. No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't work in the food production side of the company. He knows nothing about it. He is part of the culture problem we have in this country with executives and their fucking attitude. Yeah, Campbell's soup is poor person's food. That's me. That's me. I grew up on it and I still eat it as comfort food. But to sit on Instagram, not knowing anything you're talking about, and for a few bucks, shitting all over companies with shit that is not true. Say shit that is true. I'm okay with that. I love citizen journalism. I do. But this is bullshit. This is scaring people. It's just like the people that took pork chops and they poured Coke on it and pretended worms were coming out of it. The pork chop is this thick and they're talking about pulling a worm out that's this freaking long. No, it's bullshit. Just for clicks. And I'm telling you how this works, folks. I am monetized on YouTube. I am not monetized on any other platform. I could be. I'm leaving money on the table. I should monetize at least my Instagram. But folks, they're doing it for money. And they don't care. They don't care whose jobs they cost. They don't care that, hey, you know what? There are people like me that grew up poor, that are poor today, that rely on things like Campbell's soup, and you're shitting all over their food. Look, nobody believes Campbell's food is health food. Nobody. Jessic Now 01 says meat costs went up 50% since May 25th. Why the sudden abrupt increase? Meat is lab grown? No, it's not lab grown. Sounds like a Gates Foundation project that is beyond meat. And actually, they're trying to fulfill a need in the future. Our population will continue to grow. Our just everything I just talked about with the cattle industry. The people that work in the cattle, it's an aging industry. We don't have young people going into the businesses. Plus, we've got people like the Republicans that are just screwing the industry left and right. Lab-grown meat will be a thing of the future. Skeet said the problem with you. Think about it this way. You remember how expensive a VCR was when it first came out? That's the stage we're in with lab-grown meat, where the VCRs cost $1,200 back in the 70s. You know what I'm talking about? Or laptop computers when they first came out cost $5,000 back in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's lab-grown meat right now. Super high expensive. It's not in a production phase yet. But it will be part of the future, folks. It will be. It's the same chemical process that a cow uses to grow muscle tissue. They just replicate that in a laboratory environment. And they're going to have to work on the taste of it because beef tastes like what it eats. If you ever get a chance to have real grass-fed beef, grass is sweet. Very different meat, I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you, our European friends pay a lot more for their products, but boy, do they get some really good beef. The problem with U.S. beef is it's grown industrial instead of holistic. You can't. That's the point I'm making. It would be nice if everything was just pretty and they gave the cows massages and everything was just wonderful. And you can't. 1.2 billion pounds of food has to be grown, processed, cooked, packaged, and delivered every single day, 365 days a year. Keep that in mind, folks. And not everything natural is good. True. That is true. People talk about, well, you bioengineered this, that, and that's horrible. Bullshit. You like tomatoes? You like bananas with no seeds in them? The Cavendish banana was bioengineered. The bananas you love today are bioengineered. Mike Daly the Dem, happy Thanksgiving. You and Mrs. Toxic feel better than the Campbell's is for everybody. Grilled cheese and tomato soup is the best comfort food ever. Amen, brother. Amen. And I will wrap this up. I will stop beating this dead horse. I am telling you, look, these people are the worst. These internet people that they lie about drugs, they lie about vaccines, they lie about food, anything to get that click, and that's all they care about. And thank God there are good people. You can find them on Instagram. There are good people. There are doctors that have stood up, that have opened Instagram accounts. I mean, real, actual doctors in their fields. For some reason, chiropractors are the world's freaking worst about nutrition channels. They say, I'm a doctor, and you find out the guy's a chiropractor. He's not a nutritionist. He doesn't know shit about what he's talking about. But there are some good people out there that are telling the truth. And I'm telling you, going forward, we're just going to have to be much smarter about what we digest. And I'm telling you, that just infuriates me every time they do that. If you wanted to make a lab-grown ground beef on a scale for millions, it would cost $2 to $4 US for a pound. More than that right now. Way more than that right now. But it will get cheaper. It will get cheaper. And yes, it will be healthier. One, because it won't be exposed to diseases. They won't be able to do it on the scale to where they're like replace the cattle industry. They won't. There will always be the natural cattle industry, but it will be less diseased. It will be, they'll be able to control the fat contents more precisely. Yeah, I am all in on the bioengineered lab grown beef. I am. And I know, and I respect Mrs. Texas Paul, and a lot of you people in the audience will not be. It's not something you're comfortable with. I get it. I totally get it. Agent Cajun John, thank you for always being here, brother. I remember once in Finland, I had reindeer, thought it was filet mignon. Folks get mad at me because I love venison. I do. I love venison. Boy, you give me a venison that's been eating nothing but prickly pear and cactus. Woo. Skeet Sayre, in China, there are 3 videos of people finding human teeth in their meat. We are better. You have to be careful about those videos. You really have to be careful about those videos. You do. And this is why. This is the culture problem we're talking about. Y'all remember this guy from last week when he got called out over the Walmart meal deal? Y'all remember that? The Walmart meal deal? And people were calling it out because it was both smaller, and they had gone from, like, the meal deal last year had like Hawaiian rolls. I love those. Y'all love those Hawaiian rolls? I love those Hawaiian rolls. Those sweet Hawaiian rolls. So good. Oh my God. So good. This year it's got generic rolls in it and less of them. So they put less food in the bundle, and they went to like all generics. It's not the same meal. It's just not the same meal. And people called him out on it because they're like, look, we succeeded. We're great. Look at what the Trump administration did. The Walmart meal is cheaper. And people rightfully so heckled them about it. Rightfully so. Well, they're so arrogant. Listen to this guy. Listen to the arrogance of him.
Favorite moments on a Sunday show for me last week was on one of the Sunday shows. You can look it up. I won't attack the poor fellow that was the anchor. He criticized the fact that Walmart said that the Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper by, I think it was about $10 for a typical Thanksgiving dinner. And then he said, oh, yeah, but they substituted generic stuff, as if like having a generic something is a crime for ordinary folks.
This guy's freaking arrogance, man. That guy's freaking arrogance is off the chart. You don't get to do that. You don't get to sit there and claim shit that's not true. You don't get to sit there and kind of rewrite reality. I remember the piece he was talking about. They pulled up a full graphic showing the differences in the 2 meals. It wasn't just that some things went to generic. It was there's less in the damn meal. So no, it's not cheaper, it's less. And that is the problem. But you're talking about Martin Bally and the way he talks about things and talks about people. And this fucking guy, the arrogance of these people. That's what's wrong with the American executive culture is broken. It is broken. These people are not good people. And that's what we have, the challenge we have going forward as Democrats. That is the challenge we have going forward as Democrats, is we've got an entire culture to change. We got the backlash over woke and all that shit, but it was just that. It was just a backlash. Keep pushing forward. Andrew Bortier says a solution for farms would be to let immigrants invest, own, but the existing interests won't let brown people have control. Look into the history of black farm ownership. You're spot on there, man. We're going absolutely the wrong direction. We don't need less immigrants. We need more of them. When you have an aging population that won't run cows, I got to tell you something. Mexicans will run cows. They will. It is part of their culture. They will step in as small cattle ranchers, and they will do it. We're going absolutely the wrong direction with these solutions. We don't need walls at the border. We need bus stations. Bus stations, because look, it's not just stopping there. It's not just food. It's not just food. This is happening right now. More Americans are losing their homes as foreclosures jump 20%. What's driving that? Year over year, October's numbers are in. There's been a 20% increase, and this hasn't made the news really anywhere. Could you imagine if Joe Biden was still in office and from last October to this October, there was a 20% increase in foreclosures? And yes, Florida, you're leading the way. And it really is nationwide. I'm talking Delaware, and the housing market is, we're looking at what's going on again back in 2007 when we saw the mortgage crisis. We're headed right back there, folks. A 20% increase in foreclosures this October from last October. That is freaking huge. These are the kind of problems that Democrats are going to run into. They're talking about Democrats may take over Congress. Yeah, but they're going to run smack into this wall. And what are Republicans going to do? Just like that asshole just recreated his own reality, Republicans are going to be like, oh, look, Democrats are in charge. Look at this fucking mess. Look at this mess. Oh, it must be the Democrats. They're in charge now. And MAGA idiots are going to be like, oh, yeah, everything was great when we ran everything. Everything was great. Now, look, we've got a mortgage crisis. Democrats busted it. No. It is Republicans doing this. Republicans, every single month, foreclosures have been it is on an upward tangent. We are about to see another housing crash. Another mortgage crisis is in the works. This is one of the reasons why I'm telling you, people are like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's quitting so that she can run for another. No, she's quitting because she doesn't want to be here when this hits. And a lot of Republicans are going to try to get out before their name is permanently cemented into what's going on. I wasn't in Congress when the crash happened. You can see it. This is all Republicans have ever done. But it's happening. But let me tell you, there is good news. There is good news. This is Afton Bain. She is running in a special election on December 2nd in Tennessee's 7th district. She's currently the rep in Tennessee's state 51st congressional district. She's running for Tennessee's 7th district, Afton Bain. And she has Republicans freaking out. This should have been a layup for Republicans. This special election, they were completely counting on. And they're in trouble. They are in trouble. Afton Bain may pull this out. It really depends on what you do. Are you going to let people know? Are you going to get a hold of your friends in Tennessee and say, hey, vote? Are you going to donate to Afton Bain so they can get that last minute push? Folks, we're less than a week away to this special election. It's on December 2nd in Tennessee. And I got to tell you, she's got a shot. She's got a shot. And I tell you, if she pulls this one out and she wins this, there will be a rash of Republican resignations. Because they will know that if it's flipped this far, they're done. They're done. She's got an uphill fight on her hands, folks. She really does. She has. But like you said, it is close. It is neck and neck. It is within the margin of error. Here you got Helen of Scott saying it's within 2 points today. Absolutely. And the wind is at Afton Bain's back. Turn out. Turn out. Remember, people don't vote to say thank you. They vote to say fuck you. And people really badly want to say fuck you to Donald Trump and the Republicans and the Tennessee leadership, the Tennessee Republican leadership. Get your people out. Get your people out. She has a real shot to step in. You're talking about the gavel changing hands here, folks. We're talking about literally the Republicans losing control of Congress between her win and the upcoming resignations. We're not going to have to wait 11 months for the midterms. The Democrats literally at the turn of the year could take control of Congress. And this whole show, we've talked about reasons why. And I tell you, there's some ugly stuff coming out. I just started following this. This looks like it could be really ugly. I don't know the facts of it yet, but we're going to dig into it. This is some seriously scummy shit. You know, we saw the stuff with Mark Kelly and the bullshit prosecution of James Comey and, all of that stuff has been bad, but this is going to be freaking ugly. People understand this. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt's relative detained by ICE. The mother of Leavitt's nephew, notice they don't call her sister-in-law, is subject to deportation, sources say. Yeah. She was a DACA recipient from Brazil. And now suddenly she's being deported. She has a kid with Michael Leavitt, Carolyn Leavitt's brother. And they're putting all kinds of press releases out saying, oh, she never had a relationship with the kid. And we'll see. We'll see. We will see, because there's a lot of people saying that her deportation may have a lot to do with some pending court battles that are coming up. Is this dirty dealings? Is this literally that kind of scumminess? We're going to find out. We're going to find out, folks. But this just doesn't look good. Chris, thank you for supporting the show. I'm telling you, you're the folks that keep it going. You're the folks that keep it going. Tiger Butterfly, thank you for always being here. Regular. I buy all my beef from a local farm here in Kentucky, grass from start to finish. Local eggs during winter hydroponic grown greens from online farmers market. Hope y'all feel better soon. I'm telling you, if you have the opportunity, we got a lady that sells eggs up the road. We buy eggs from her. We get fresh eggs. we buy some at Sam's because we don't, a lot of people buy eggs from this lady and there ain't always enough there. But if you ever have the chance to have really grass-fed beef, start to finish, and I mean, they finish that cow with grass-fed beef, I'm telling you, you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference. I'm telling you. Anyways, that's what I have for you today, folks. That's what I have for you today. I hope it's been useful information. I hope it gets you motivated. Come on, let's get Afton Bain pushed over the line. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you on Friday. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.